Hello everyone, another week, another video, and today we're going to take a look at these three wonderful bags here. It struck me the other day that they actually are quite similar in certain respects. So I thought I'd just sort of take you through them and, in terms and see what they look like, do a quick comparison and just sort of see what the differences are. So just as a quick introduction, the bag right on the left is my Hermes Bolide 1923 in the 25 size. I've also got my Hermes Kelly in the Sellier style in the size 28. And I've got a Moynat Gabrielle PM. And these three bags, they do vary in terms of size and capacity, but I thought I'd just show you they're all in a similar style of leather. The Hermes bags are in an Epsom style, and the Moynat bag is in a carrot calf leather. What this means is that the grains of the leather are a bit stamped and the bag feels a bit more rigid as a result of it. And so I think the bag makers tend to like using these leathers to make more structured bags because they'll hold their shape a lot more. What I have noticed, however, is that the leather does soften over time. For instance, taking this Bolide bag as an example, I've had this for about 2 years now, and the leather has softened up a lot, but it still holds its shape really, really well. So it's quite fun using these bags and just seeing how they change over time. So quick introduction into the size and dimensions. Actually, when looking at these two bags, the Bolide 1923 in the 25 size and the Moynat Gabrielle PM, I've noticed that the sizing is actually very similar. Though this is about 26 centimeters across, this is about 8 to 9 centimeters in depth, and this is about 17 to 18 centimeters in height. This, even though it's a 25 size, you'll see that the 25 starts here, but across this exact base of the bag, but there's a bit more give on the edges because this is what you call a raton style, where they turn it inside out. So the base does tend to be a bit bigger. So this is actually more about 26 centimeters. Again, the base is about 8 to 9 centimeters in depth, and again the height is about that 18 to 19 centimeters. It's probably about a centimeter taller than this Moynat Gabrielle. So very similar in terms of capacity and in terms of dimensions as well. I'll show you in a bit what I use to fit in here most days, and you'll see that actually it is quite similar. Now, in terms of the Kelly bag, this is a 28, so of course it's not as comparable in terms of sizing. It is that smidge bigger, so the capacity is quite different. So this is about 29 centimeters in the base actually, not just 28. And then this is about 10 to 11 centimeters in depth, and again about 20 cm or 21 cm in height. So it's just that size bigger than these other two bags, and it does show in terms of what I can fit inside here. In terms of opening, I would have to say you can tell straight away that this is a very different opening from the Kelly. The Moynat Gabrielle just has a magnetic clasp and a turn lock, and so it is still quite secure, but definitely with time I've learned how to open it one-handed, and it's quite easy on the go. The Bolide zipper is pretty easy to operate as well, and it's quite smooth, and so if I've had to open this one-handed, I've actually been able to do so quite easily as well. It takes a bit of getting used to, but once you're used to it, rushing, it's quite easy to just open and shut like that. The bag opening, which I find the most fiddly, and I guess you could probably tell as well based on how it's done up, is the Kelly, right? In order to open it, you kind of have to turn the lock, undo the sangles, and since this is a new bag, it's still quite stiff, the sangles, and then open this flap up. And then you probably have to expand it a bit more just so you can get into the bag But so in order to make things easier for me, what I tend to do is just close it like this and then keep the sangles out like that. So it looks a bit undone, but at least it's easier to get in and out of. I still cannot open this bag with one hand. Don't know how people do it, but I guess with time we'll find out. So yes, in terms of ease of operation, I still prefer the Moynat Gabrielle or the Hermes Bolide because it's much easier to do up with one hand. Now, in terms of straps, all these bags have really wonderful, gorgeous leather straps. And as you can tell, the clasp on the Moynat and the Hermes straps, if this can focus well enough, is pretty much quite different, right? This is more solid than the Moynat one. But in terms of operation, the Moynat one is actually easier to open and close. And this is how the Hermes one is. It's not a very big sort of latch that you can hold on to. So if you're in a rush or if your hands are sort of slippery on the day, it's a bit harder to open. But once you're used to it, it's actually okay. So in terms of ease of attaching straps, actually, it's definitely much easier to put a strap on the Moynat Gabrielle. You see, just put it in like that. And again, on the other side. And while we're talking about the Moynat strap, the one function it has that the Hermes straps do not have is the adjustable strap. So this has 5 adjustments to it, and on its longest adjustment, you can actually wear this bag crossbody, whereas the Hermes bags are almost exclusively shoulder carry bags unless you order a longer strap. So yeah, what I will say is that my main con of the Bolide is if I try and attach the strap, it's much harder to attach the strap than on the Kelly because the D-rings are hidden by the handles. And so if I've got a twilly wrapped around the scarf, around the rings, it definitely is a lot harder to put on and off. So let's put this on here, and then we'll put it on this side. There. So can be done, and once you get used to it, certainly not that much of an issue, but it still is a bit of a pain. And here, again, I think this is sort of in between these two bags because the clasp is the same, of course, as the Hermes Bolide, but in terms of hooking it on, it's much easier because the rings on the bag are constructed in a way that makes it easier to hook on it, to take on and take off. So that. And speaking of rings on the Kelly bag and on the Moynat bag, I don't know if you can tell, but this is one solid piece of hardware like that, which looks very nicely polished and put together. And this has a D-ring that sort of fit into the extra strap. So the leather handle has an extra loop that's built in, but you can tell it's just a single metal piece rather than a single sort of joint metal constructed piece. So I thought it's quite interesting the way in which the handles are constructed. So this top handle is on the Kelly bag is sort of separate from the rest of the bag, whereas for the Moynat Gabrielle, the handle is actually one whole piece of leather that's then sewn onto the bag. So very interesting in terms of difference in construction. But yeah, so I would say in terms of attaching the strap, this is definitely the best, followed by the Kelly, and then followed by the Hermes Bolide. But yeah, I mean, that's probably not going to be a big deal breaker for anybody, really. So yeah, that's kind of a quick look around the outside of the bag. I think internally, now that we're moving into the bag itself, the Moynat bag is covered is lined in what's called pearl calf. It's the smoothest, silkiest calf leather that I have ever felt in my life, but it's so nice. It has darkened with use, but despite it feeling really delicate, I don't feel like it has worn all that much in the 1 year that I've had it. For my Bolide bag, I do have a bag liner. In it, I bought a felt organizer from Samorga. But otherwise, it is lined in Swift leather, which is again very soft, and one of the reasons why I decided to get a bag liner was because I didn't want to scratch it up. I have not been able to find a bag liner for my Moynat bag, which is kind of why I've had to go without. I have not yet gotten a bag liner for my Kelly bag, but yeah, on the inside it is this beautiful chev lining, leather on the interior, and it feels really nice and soft, and I suspect that's probably also why it costs that much more than all the other bags. So yes, let's see. In terms of pricing, I did buy these at different times, but I think this is still the cheapest. It is not cheap. It is the cheapest of the lot. It was probably about 7,000, just over 7,000, or between 7 and 8,000 Singapore dollars. This at the time I purchased was about just over 9,000, but I think now it will be more than 10. And this was just under 20. So yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why it's interesting having this comparison is because in terms of usage and utility, you can make your own conclusions about, you know, the quality, whether or not you love this bag more than twice this bag or this bag to buy that over these two. Because at the end of the day, these are all bags, right? Let's ignore the hype and let's look at what it brings into our lives in terms of utility and in terms of the craftsmanship. And, you know, sometimes if you just weigh these up, you know, you might have different conclusions or thoughts about what really is worth it and whether or not you'd enjoy a bag more or less or just the same if you're going to pay more for it. Anyway, long rambly thoughts aside, let's go on to what fits in each bag. So I'm going to start with this one because it does look like it might fit the least. And I am going to put an umbrella and then my little catch-all. This has got my tissues, my wet wipes, my hand sanitizer. I have my key pouch, and that is a similar size to the Louis Vuitton key tray. Got a Bastia here. Love the green and the purple, by the way. I just love how these two colors look together. I have a lip gloss. I have my car keys. Let's see what else. I have my card holder, and I have a reusable bag. So we'll just put all of this together. It can still fit a phone inside, but I'm using my phone to film. And it should close. And yeah, this is pretty much full. Once I add my phone in, there's not very much space for anything else, right? You can, if you wanted to, say, take out this pouch. Let me just take this out, and perhaps if I were to take out my umbrella as well, I could fit in my sunglasses and yeah, fit in the phone. There'll be a bit more space, but it can definitely close. But I don't think with the umbrella and the reusable bag, that was pretty much full capacity. So that's my Moynat Gabrielle PM. And let's see, or just to show you what goes inside my Hermes Bolide. Same thing, umbrella, reusable bag. Let's fish these things out from my Moynat Gabrielle PM. The little catch-all pouch. And Bastia key pouch. Right. Lip gloss. Car key. and also card holder. And that's how much, that's kind of how full it is. I think I can put in sunglasses and it will zip up, but I don't think it will have space for my phone after that. And as you can see, it's quite full. It's quite sort of rigid and bulging out a little bit. When I filled it up like this and brought it into the store, my SA took one look at it and when you're kind of overstretching your bag. So I wouldn't take the sunglasses with me. I might have to carry it separately, but I think I could fit a phone in it and it'd be fine. But it would just zip up like that. So that is what fits inside my Hermes Bolide 1923-25 size. Now, my glorious Hermes Kelly bag in the Sellier style. I love this bag, by the way. It is, I mean, I think if you have sort of been shopping at Hermes and everyone talks about Hermes, you would know as well that this is pretty much the end game of most people. Not necessarily me, but I love the fact that I have this bag, and yeah, it's been great. Now, this bag can fit a book. It won't fit very much else. Part of the reason why it fits less than you think it would is because of how the sides cave in like this. So it does restrict what you can put in, but it's still quite a big bag and it still can fit in quite a lot. So if I take things out from my Bolide and transfer it into the Kelly, we will see how much it can fit. Now, umbrella again. I think I shall also try and put my agenda in. This is pretty much a pocket-sized agenda. As you can tell from the comparison just now, if you have an A5 agenda, I think it should, sorry, A5 or A6? A5 agenda, I think it should still fit pretty well. Actually, maybe not. Is this A5? Maybe an A6 agenda, not quite an A5. A5 might be a bit big, but yeah. I've got my catch-all, I've got my key pouch, I've got my reusable bag, and my card holder. And let's see what else. Bastiagen car key, and I've got my lip gloss. Okay, I think I can also put my sunglasses in, and there will still be space for my phone. It's kind of full, but there's definitely still space at the top. And if I were to slide it in and close it, it would definitely close, but wow, is it really heavy right now. So this can definitely fit more. As you can tell, the capacity of these two bags were pretty much quite similar, and it could fit just a similar amount of things. This one can fit more, so basically one agenda and one pair of sunglasses more than these two. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell from the base alone and how much bigger this is compared to, say, the Bolide. And yeah, oof. Okay, yeah, that bag was heavy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this whistle-stop tour through these three very wonderful bags that I have. Pros and cons aside, I love using all of them, and I get so happy every time I take them out for a spin. So there you have it. If you liked today's video, share, comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite bags are, or which of the three you really liked. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.